Most men are sleepwalking through their own lives. They wake up, they react, they perform, they go to bed, and they repeat. Day after day, they let the world write the script, and they simply read the lines. They call it living. Machiavelli called it weakness, wearing the mask of routine. You are not here by accident. Something pulled you to this video. That pull, that quiet, restless hunger, is the part of you that already knows the truth. The part that has watched too many men bow their heads, swallow their dignity, and shrink themselves to fit into rooms that were never built for them. That ends today. This is not a motivational speech. Motivation is fuel for men who are already lost. It burns fast and leaves nothing behind. What you are about to receive is architecture, a code, the kind Machiavelli understood when he looked at power not as a dream, but as a discipline. The man who cannot govern himself will always be governed by someone else. Always. No exception, no negotiation. You want to become the man no one can ignore? Then you must first become the man you cannot ignore yourself. Stop running from your own reflection. Stop numbing the discomfort. Stop waiting for permission to become what you already sense you are capable of being. The first move in Machiavelli's code is brutal in its simplicity. Know exactly where you are and be ruthlessly honest about it. Drop awakened in the comments right now. Number 2. The war within. Before you conquer anything outside of you, you must conquer the war that is already raging inside of you. This is the part no one wants to talk about. Everyone is obsessed with tactics, with strategy, with influence, but they skip the foundation. They build their ambition on sand and then wonder why everything collapses the moment real pressure arrives. Machiavelli was not interested in men who fell apart under pressure. He studied men who became sharper under it. He understood something that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Your greatest enemy is not the man standing across from you. Your greatest enemy is the version of you that chooses comfort over growth, distraction over discipline, and noise over silence. That enemy lives inside your own mind, and he is cunning. He speaks in your voice. He uses your fears, your past failures, your old wounds as weapons against your own potential. He tells you to wait. He tells you the timing isn't right. He tells you that you are not ready. And the brutal truth? Most men listen to him every single day without even realizing it. They mistake his voice for reason. They mistake his hesitation for wisdom. But Machiavelli's code has no room for that kind of self-deception. The code demands that you look at your own weakness directly, not to shame yourself, but to dismantle it. Cold, calculated, methodical. Every habit that softens you must be identified and destroyed. Every excuse that protects you from discomfort must be stripped away without mercy. Every relationship, every environment, every routine that pulls you downward must be examined with the eyes of a strategist, not the heart of someone desperate for approval. This is the war within, and it is the only war that truly matters. Win this one, and the world outside becomes a different place entirely. Lose it, and no external strategy will ever save you. The man who masters himself first walks differently. He thinks differently. He operates on a frequency that most people around him cannot even detect. If you are ready to win that war, type "I am unstoppable" in the comments right now and mean every single letter of it. Number 3. Prioritize yourself without apology. There is a lie that has been quietly injected into the minds of men for generations. The lie that putting yourself first makes you selfish, cold, or cruel. That if you choose your own growth over someone else's comfort, you are somehow failing as a man. Society has weaponized guilt and used it to keep capable men small, available, and endlessly accommodating. Machiavelli saw through this manipulation centuries ago. He understood that a man who does not prioritize himself becomes a resource for everyone else's agenda, useful, convenient, and ultimately disposable. And the darkest part? Most men who are being used this way believe they are being loved. They confuse access with affection. They confuse need with loyalty. They give and give and give until there is nothing left, and then they are quietly discarded by the very people they sacrificed themselves for. This is not loyalty rewarded. This is weakness exploited. Prioritizing yourself is not cruelty. It is the highest form of self-respect. And without self-respect, you have no foundation. None. You cannot build power on a man who has no relationship with his own worth. You cannot build influence on someone who needs constant external validation to feel legitimate. The man Machiavelli respected was the man who understood his own value so deeply that he never needed to argue for it, perform for it, or beg for it. He simply lived it, and the world adjusted accordingly. Now understand this clearly. Prioritizing yourself means protecting your time with the ferocity of a man who knows exactly how finite it is. It means making decisions based on your vision, not other people's emotions. It means being willing to disappoint people who were only comfortable when you were operating below your potential. It means eating right, training hard, thinking clearly, sleeping deliberately, and treating your mind and body as instruments of war rather than vessels of pleasure. It means cutting off anything, any habit, any person, any environment that consistently pulls your energy downward without return. This is not isolation. This is selection. The man who selects carefully what enters his life, his mind, and his inner circle becomes untouchable by default, because he is no longer accessible to everything and everyone. He has standards. He has boundaries forged not from fear, but from an unshakable understanding of his own direction. And when a man knows his direction, he stops being distracted by everything that is not aligned with it. That kind of focus is magnetic. That kind of discipline is rare, and rare things command attention without ever asking for it. Type "I come first" in the comments, and understand that is not arrogance. That is the foundation of every powerful man who ever walked this earth. Number 4. Silence is your sharpest weapon. Most men cannot stop talking. They explain themselves constantly. They justify their decisions, defend their choices, and announce their plans to anyone willing to listen. They believe that words build credibility. They believe that being understood is the same as being respected. But Machiavelli knew something far more dangerous, that silence is not emptiness. Silence is strategy. Silence is the weapon that most men never pick up because they are too busy being uncomfortable with it. The world is saturated with noise. Everyone is performing, broadcasting, oversharing, and screaming for attention in one form or another. And in a world drowning in noise, the man who is deliberately, purposefully silent becomes the most powerful presence in any room he enters. People cannot read him. They cannot predict him. They cannot manipulate what they cannot understand. And that uncertainty, that inability to fully categorize a man, creates an involuntary respect that no amount of loud confidence can manufacture. Dark psychology understands this principle at its core. The man who speaks less is perceived as knowing more. The man who reveals little is assumed to be carrying much. Every word you withhold becomes a mystery. Every reaction you refuse to give becomes a statement of power. When you stop explaining yourself to people who were never genuinely interested in understanding you, something shifts. You reclaim energy that was being silently drained every single time you opened your mouth to seek approval dressed up as explanation. Think about how many times you have over-explained a decision to someone who had already made up their mind about you. Think about how many times you have argued to defend your worth to someone who never intended to recognize it. Every single one of those moments was a withdrawal from your power account. Machiavelli's man does not argue. He observes. He does not react. He calculates. He does not announce his next move. He executes it and lets the results speak in a language louder than any words he could have chosen. Silence also does something to your own internal world that most men never discover. because they never stay quiet long enough to experience it. It sharpens your thinking. It deepens your perception. It allows you to see people, situations, and dynamics with a clarity that is simply impossible when your mind is constantly generating output. The silent man sees everything. He notices the subtle shifts in tone, the micro-expressions, the inconsistencies between what people say and what they actually do. He becomes a reader of rooms, a student of human behavior, operating with an intelligence that others cannot match, because they are too busy talking to ever truly observe. Master your silence, and you master the room without ever raising your voice. Drop "I move in silence" in the comments right now, because that is exactly the energy you are building. Number 5. Build yourself into something they cannot replace. Mediocrity is comfortable. That is precisely why it is dangerous. It asks nothing of you. It requires no sacrifice, no discipline, no willingness to sit in discomfort while you forge yourself into something harder, sharper, and more capable than you were yesterday. Mediocrity will hold the door open for you every single morning and whisper that today is not the day, that you have time, that you deserve rest, that you have already done enough. And millions of men walk through that door daily without ever questioning where it leads. It leads nowhere. It leads to a version of yourself at 50 years old that you would be ashamed to introduce to the man you are right now. Machiavelli did not write his code for average men. He wrote it for men who understood that in this world, you are either being built or being buried, and the world will not pause to ask you which one you prefer. So let the question land hard. What are you actually building? Not what you are planning to build, not what you intend to build when the conditions are right, but what are you constructing with your hours, your decisions, your habits, and your attention right now, today, in this season of your life? Because every single day is a deposit or a withdrawal from the man you are becoming. There is no neutral. There is no pause button. Time is the one resource that moves regardless of whether you are using it with intention or surrendering it to distraction. The man Machiavelli respected above all others was the man who made himself indispensable, not through desperation, not through people-pleasing, but through the relentless development of his own capabilities. He studied, he trained, he refined his thinking, sharpened his skills, and expanded his understanding of the world until he became the kind of man that power naturally gravitates toward. Not because he asked for it, not because he performed for it, but because he built something real, something with substance, depth, and undeniable competence that spoke for itself in every room he entered. This is what it means to become the man no one can ignore. It is not about appearance. It is not about how loudly you carry yourself or how aggressively you project confidence. It is about the quiet, unshakable knowledge that you have done the work that most men refused to do. That you woke up when others stayed asleep. That you trained when others made excuses. That you studied when others entertained themselves into irrelevance. That you chose the hard path deliberately, repeatedly, and without waiting for applause. Build your body like it is a weapon you may one day need. Build your mind like it is a fortress that no external chaos can penetrate. Build your skills like your financial survival depends on them, because at some point, it will. Build your emotional discipline until you become a man who can sit in the middle of a storm and make cold, clear, precise decisions while everyone around him is unraveling. Build your reputation through consistent action over time until it precedes you into every room before you even open your mouth. And understand this: the man who builds himself into something rare, something competent, something genuinely powerful, does not chase opportunities. Opportunities chase him. People do not overlook him. They cannot afford to. Because replacing him is not a simple task. He has made himself into something that cannot be easily duplicated, outsourced, or substituted. That is the ultimate position of power. Not dominance through aggression, but irreplaceability through excellence. Start now, not tomorrow, not after the next distraction runs its course. Now, because the man you are trying to become has already been waiting long enough. Type 1 and built different in the comments, and then go prove it to yourself every single day. Number 6, control your emotions, or they will control your destiny. Every empire that has ever collapsed from within first. Every man who has ever been defeated was defeated internally before the world ever got the chance to finish the job. This is not poetry. This is pattern. This is the consistent, brutal, repeating truth of human history that Machiavelli studied with the cold eyes of a surgeon and documented with the precision of a man who refused to lie to himself about what he saw. Emotional weakness is not a character flaw you can afford to ignore. It is a vulnerability, a crack in the foundation. And the world, the people around you, and the circumstances of life will find that crack with terrifying accuracy and exploit it without mercy and without apology. Most men believe they are in control of their emotions. They are not. They are simply in a season where their emotions have not yet been tested at the level that exposes the truth. Give a man real pressure, real loss, real betrayal, real failure, real humiliation, and watch what lives beneath the surface of his composure. Watch how fast logic dissolves when emotion takes the wheel. Watch how quickly a man who believed himself to be disciplined begins to react, to lash out, to make decisions from a place of pain rather than a place of power. And those decisions, those emotionally driven, reactive, unstrategic decisions, are the ones that destroy careers, collapse relationships, burn bridges, and dismantle, in a single moment, what took years of careful construction to build. Machiavelli understood that the most dangerous man in any conflict is not the one with the most aggression, it is the one with the most control. The man who can feel everything and show nothing. The man who can absorb betrayal without flinching, endure provocation without reacting, and process pain without allowing it to contaminate his judgment. That man is not cold. That man is not broken. That man is dangerous in the most sophisticated way possible, because you cannot manipulate what you cannot destabilize. Think about the people in your life who have pushed your buttons, triggered your insecurities, or provoked reactions from you that you later regretted. Now understand something clearly. Every single time you reacted emotionally in a situation that required composure, you handed that person power over you. You showed them the exact lever to pull. You revealed the precise pressure point that bypasses your reason and takes control of your behavior. And they filed that information away. Consciously or unconsciously, they now know how to move you. Dark psychology is built entirely on this principle. Find the emotional trigger, apply the right pressure, and watch a man abandon his own strategy to chase a feeling. The solution is not to become emotionless. Suppression is not the same as mastery. A man who suppresses his emotions is simply a man sitting on a pressure cooker, functional until the moment he is not, and catastrophic when the lid finally comes off. True emotional mastery is something far more sophisticated. It is the ability to feel the full weight of an emotion, the anger, the grief, the humiliation, the fear, and consciously choose your response rather than unconsciously surrendering to your reaction. It is the practice of creating space between stimulus and action. A breath, a pause, a moment of cold, strategic clarity before you decide how to move. It is training yourself through repeated discipline to ask one question before you respond to anything that provokes you. Does this reaction serve my vision, or does it serve my wound? Because those are the only two options available to you in every charged moment. You are either moving from power or moving from pain. You are either executing your strategy or abandoning it to satisfy an emotion that will be gone in 20 minutes, but whose consequences will linger for years. Machiavelli's man chooses power every single time, not because he feels nothing, but because he has trained himself to value his long-term position over his short-term relief. He plays the long game with the patience of a man who understands that the real victory is never won in the moment of provocation. It is won in the months and years that follow, when the man who kept his composure is still standing, still building, still advancing, while the man who reacted is still explaining himself, still recovering, still paying the price for a single moment of emotional indulgence. Your emotions are information. Use them. But never, under any circumstances, let them use you. Type 1 control my mind in the comments right now, because that single decision, practiced daily, will change the entire trajectory of your life. Number 7. Your circle determines your ceiling. There is a truth so uncomfortable that most men spend their entire lives finding sophisticated ways to avoid confronting it. The people you surround yourself with are either accelerating your ascent or silently engineering your decline. Not dramatically, not obviously, not in ways that are easy to point to and explain, but consistently, quietly, and with a precision that only becomes visible when you look back years later and ask yourself why you are still standing in the same place you were standing when you first met them. Machiavelli was ruthless about this. Not cruel, ruthless. There is a critical difference between the two that most people collapse into one, because it is easier to call a man cold than to acknowledge the wisdom in his boundaries. Cruelty destroys without purpose. Ruthlessness removes without guilt what is genuinely obstructing the path forward. And the wrong people in your inner circle are not just an inconvenience, they are a ceiling. They are the invisible upper limit on how far your thinking can stretch, how boldly your ambition can breathe, and how clearly your vision can develop when every conversation pulls you back toward the median of their own comfort and limitations. Understand the architecture of influence. You do not just absorb the habits of the people around you. You absorb their beliefs about what is possible. You absorb their relationship with risk, with discipline, with discomfort, and with excellence. You absorb their definitions of success and their tolerance for failure. And if the people closest to you have small definitions, low tolerances, and a deep comfort with mediocrity, then no amount of personal ambition will fully protect you from the gravitational pull of their collective energy. This is not arrogance. This is physics. Energy is contagious in both directions, upward and downward, and proximity determines the direction of the infection. Now look at your circle with the cold, honest eyes of a strategist, rather than the warm, forgiving eyes of someone who confuses loyalty with obligation. Who in your life consistently challenges you to be more? Who holds you to a standard rather than an excuse? Who tells you the truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable? Because they respect your potential more than they fear your reaction. And on the other side, who drains you quietly every time you interact with them? Who responds to your growth with subtle undermining, dressed up as humor? Who becomes uncomfortable when you start winning, when you start changing, when you start operating at a level that makes their own stagnation more visible by contrast? Those people, regardless of history, regardless of shared memories, regardless of how long they have been present in your life, are not your allies. They are anchors, and a man trying to ascend cannot afford anchors, no matter how familiar and comfortable those anchors feel in his hands. Machiavelli understood that the prince who surrounded himself with flatterers, with weak counsel, and with men who valued their own comfort over the truth, was a prince already in the process of falling. He simply had not hit the ground yet. The quality of your inner circle is a direct reflection of the standard you hold for your own life. When you raise your standard, the composition of your circle will change, and that transition will be uncomfortable. Some people will leave. Some people you will have to distance yourself from deliberately. Some relationships that felt permanent will reveal themselves to be conditional on you remaining the version of yourself that never challenged anyone around you. Let them go. Not with bitterness. Not with announcement. Not with the drama of a man who needs his boundaries to be witnessed and applauded. Simply with the quiet, decisive energy of someone who has chosen his direction and understands that not everyone who started the journey with him is equipped or willing to reach the destination. Replace proximity with purpose. Curate your environment with the same strategic precision that you apply to your goals. Seek out men who are building, who are thinking, who are operating with intention and executing with discipline. Sit in rooms that make you feel like you need to grow just to keep up. Put yourself in conversations that expand your ceiling rather than confirm your current flaw. Because the truth that Machiavelli embedded in every page he ever wrote is this: no man rises alone, but only the right men rise together. Choose yours with the eyes of a king, not the desperation of someone who simply fears being alone. Type "my circle is my standard" in the comments right now, and then go evaluate that circle with the honesty this moment deserves. Number 8. Become unreadable. Become unstoppable. The most powerful men in history were not the loudest. They were not the most aggressive, the most visibly dominant, or the most openly intimidating. They were the most unreadable. They were the men who moved through the world like deep water, calm on the surface, impossible to measure from above, and far more powerful beneath than anything their exterior suggested. Machiavelli studied these men obsessively. He understood that transparency in a world built on competition and human nature is not a virtue, it is a vulnerability. When people can read you completely, they can prepare for you. When they can predict your reactions, they can manipulate your decisions. When they understand your desires, your fears, your insecurities, and your pressure points with clarity, they hold a map to your destruction, and most of them will use it. Not necessarily out of malice, but simply because human beings naturally leverage every advantage available to them when their own interests are at stake. This is not cynicism. This is the honest study of human behavior that Machiavelli dedicated his life to documenting. And ignoring it does not make you noble, it makes you naive. The man who chooses to be an open book in a world of calculated readers is not being authentic. He is being strategically careless with the most valuable currency he possesses: information about himself. Now understand what it means to become truly unreadable. Because it is not about deception in the shallow sense of the word. It is not about lying, performing, or constructing a false identity for the world to consume. It is about strategic depth. It is about developing so many layers to your character, your thinking, and your behavior that no single person ever holds the complete picture of who you are, what you want, and how you operate. It is about mastering the art of revealing only what serves your current objective, and withholding everything else with the discipline of a man who understands that every piece of information he releases about himself is either a tool or a weapon, and the wrong person holding the wrong piece of. Information about you at the wrong moment can cost you more than you are prepared to lose. The unreadable man is not cold in the way that people assume. He is warm when warmth serves a purpose. He is open when openness builds the right bridge. He is charming when charm is the most effective instrument in the moment. But none of it is accidental. None of it is uncontrolled. Every expression, every disclosure, every moment of apparent vulnerability is a conscious choice made by a man who is always thinking 3 moves ahead of the conversation he is currently in. Dark psychology calls this controlled projection, the deliberate management of the image and information you allow the world to access. It is the difference between a man who simply exists in a room and a man who decides exactly how that room experiences him. One is passive, the other is powerful. And the gap between the two is not talent or charisma. It is awareness and intention applied consistently over time. People are drawn to the unreadable man in ways they cannot fully articulate. There is a magnetism in mystery that no amount of loud self-promotion can replicate. When someone cannot fully figure you out, they think about you longer. They pay attention more carefully. They assign you a significance that goes beyond anything you explicitly claimed for yourself. You become interesting by default. You become someone worth watching, worth understanding, worth pursuing, professionally, socially, personally. And in a world where attention is the most competitive resource available, the man who commands it without chasing it has mastered one of the most sophisticated forms of power that exists. Become layered. Become deliberate. Become the man that people sense is operating on a level they have not yet accessed. Speak less than you know. Show less than you feel. Reveal less than you have planned.